Hello. Finally, after 10,000 years, we receive news of the new Hearthstone expansion coming out. In 1 month, the raising of shadows, the rise of shadows, the rise of shadows, the shadow rising. Something's rising, and it's not just a shadow.
Ha, this guy's toast.
So you're probably wondering why I gathered you here. Let me take a moment and break it down. We've been given black eyes by the good guys. Oh, but that's about to change.
I love his singing voice.
Those meddlesome mortals who've mocked up our missions will finally feel some of our pain. You see, I have a devious plan that requires a demonstrative fist, and each of you will have your dreams come true as a fiendish finger of peace.
It's very, someone pointed out in chat, it's very Disney-like. Like the way he sings, it's like a pseudo-musical conversation. Like a Broadway.
All right, let me try
Like it's
this
not a
again.
song.
Alone all our dreams went. Yes, but united we'll take
Reminds me of the genie from Aladdin.
I'm seeing what you want to do.
Let me hear it.
We'll come together so we can dismantle.
Now here's the plot to capture your greed and intrigue. We'll take Dalaran for all that it's got. As we form an evil league.
Oh, wait, no. So, I think they're all going to be cards in the new expansion. They already revealed Rafaam, who's going to be arch-villain Rafaam. And Dr. Boom's going to be called Blastmaster Boom. Another cool thing is Togwaggle. Notice his hat. He's no longer wearing his crown. Is he wearing his crown at the beginning? He is wearing his crown at the beginning. Which is interesting, because I thought they took his crown. But here, he has a top hat. And what's underneath? I can't see what that is, but it looks like... Is that a light bulb? He gave up his crown for a top hat. Instead of a lantern, it's a light bulb? Looks like a light bulb / flask kind of deal. The new character, well, she's old, but this is the first time we've seen her name. Madame Lazul is the troll priest. I could have sworn she was going to be warlock, but I guess if Rafaam's going to be the warlock, they need to give her another class, because she felt more warlock than priest. She's going to be the priest legendary, I imagine, and obviously Hagatha. Hagatha's going to be weird, because Hagatha's already a shaman legendary. So now there's going to be another Hagatha. So Rafaam and his crew is invading Dalaran. Yeah, who could have seen this coming? What a surprise. This expansion got leaked, I think, 8 hours ahead of time. April 9th. Oh, got it. April 9th, the release date. A lot of people like the singing in these trailers. There is singing, but it's not a song. But it's still pretty funny. And then they have the 7-minute announcement trailer.
Welcome. I'm Dave Kozak. The year of the dragon is almost upon us. Today, we begin a year-long journey that will take us deep into the evil. How much mana does it cost? Is it any good against Hunter? These are the enigmas of the human condition. We will explore these mysteries, then the villainous mastermind himself, Rafaam. The one-time archthief is not the only...
7 mana, 7/8 with taunt. Battlecry, replace your hand and deck with legendary minions. Stat line wise, 7/7/8 isn't bad. Comes with taunt. The taunt is a big deal because whenever you play expensive cards that has no immediate impact with the Battlecry, Having taunt is huge. Like Lich King. Like Lich King, it doesn't have an immediate impact because you get the card at the end of your turn. But the fact that it has taunt makes a huge difference. So the golden monkey that Elise is looking for is a treasure. And it is a treasure that Rafaam's after. So this golden monkey used to turn every card in your hand. And was it your deck into legendary? It was your deck too, right? So this is the golden monkey effect. And I guess Rafaam got a hold of it. And now he's the golden monkey. But you don't have to go find the golden monkey. You can just play this. Did Warlock ever play Elise? Not really. The thing is, Warlock is the one class that draws your deck really fast, right? Because of the hero power. The decks that used to run Elise / Golden Monkey, it was a super long control deck. So specifically, Control Warrior probably did the most. It's fun. The stat is good. I can see this being played in Control Warrior if this was a neutral card, but it's a Warlock card, right? Warlock Control. I don't think you would play this in anything but Control. It's like a Renounced Darkness. Yeah, kinda. Essentially, you just remove. And if you're a control deck and you're up against an enemy control deck, then you would just play this. But is this that much better? Zoo Finisher? Let's see. You're a Zoo deck. And then you're up against a control deck. Would you want to play this? Your hand should be empty as Zoo. As Zoo, your hand is usually empty. You're just making so that the future draws you get are better than your average one drop. I think it's a fun card. But the effect is something we've seen before. It's not a new effect. So it's not exciting. I don't think it'll see play just because it's a Warlock card. Rin. Is Rin rotating out? Oh, Rin is rotating out, huh? Because Rin's the definition of I'm a control deck and I'm going to destroy another control deck card. But if Rin's rotating out, how does Control Warlock beat other control decks? Well, Reaver Gul'dan is rotating out. It is losing a lot of its control advantage. So you can play Void Contract and then Rafaam. Why would you do that? Void Contract almost inevitably screw over the Warlock than the opponent because the Warlock taps. Unless you want to play a control Warlock that doesn't tap, which doesn't make sense. Yeah. I think it's cool, but I don't think it's good enough. 1 star. I've only seen one card of the new expansion, and I'm giving it a 1 star. I'm prematurely judging it so that I can rush out a YouTube video for views.
Only villain who will be returning to Hearthstone to wreak havoc. His position as founder and head of the League of Evil has legendary benefits. In addition to returning villains, other cards harken back to the mechanics of bygone days. Madame Lazul, the fortune teller, is bringing...
Spend all your mana, destroy a minion with that much attack or less. Guys, I made a great meme about this. You guys want to see my top meme? Let me show you guys. It's a great meme. Alright, chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a meme is this? Top meme toast. Very dank, very fresh. Finally, Priest will be able to kill Twilight Drakes. Every time I play Priest and an opponent drops a Twilight Drake on me, I'm like, well, guess I'll die. But now, there's a card that can kill Twilight Drake. It's very flexible, which I like. It can be used to kill like a very expensive but low attack minion. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a good card. I would say it's a 2 off in every single Priest card. The only thing you'll struggle with is killing like, I don't know, a Deathwing. You can never kill a Deathwing with this unless he reduces the Deathwing's attack. But I think the applications is far and wide. It can be used to kill something like Moshog Enforcer, the 2/14 taunt, for only 2 mana, right? Forbidden Words. Why would you play that if you can play Shadow Word Death? Because you can kill 4 drops with this one. And 5 drops. 5 attacks. Not 4 drops. 4 attacks and 5 attacks. Toast, can this card kill 0 attack minion? Yeah. You can. Kill a Flame Tongue Totem for 0 mana Toast, they should have called this the N-word card. Why? Because it's forbidden words. And the N-word is pretty forbidden. And the F-word. Not fuck. Everyone can say the word fuck. The sexual orientation one. 5 stars. 2 off in every single priest deck. Assuming priest is good.
Schemes such as this one.
So these cards, they upgrade every single turn. Whoa, hold up. Upgrades each turn. On your opponent's turn, it upgrades. And then on your turn, it upgrades. So every time it's your turn, it would have been upgraded by 2.
Grow more powerful the longer you hold them in your hand. What do you call a card capable of doing colossal damage to every minion on the board?
Well, that doesn't answer my question. Luckily, I downloaded some B-rolls for this. Hang on. Starts out at 1. His opponent's turn. And then now it's his turn. And it deals 2 damage. So it doesn't upgrade each turn. It upgrades every turn on your turn. Do we have any Hearthstone cards that uses the word each turn? In order for this card to be considered inconsistent, we need to find contrasting examples, right? I mean, there's Gruul at the end of each turn. Gain +1/+1. And he gains it on his opponent's turn too. Each turn. What's the other guy? The little bot? What's his name? It's not little bot. That's what he says. Micro Machine. There you go. Thanks. At the start of each turn, gain +1 attack. That includes the opponent. So it's what about Kalecgos? Each turn, this is in your hand. Transform it into a card your opponent's handling. Oh, I guess this does say each turn. What's another card? Those Worgen Swip Swappers. Gilnean Rogue Guard. Each turn, this is in your hand. I guess technically this also violates it. Technically. So there are examples. I don't know. I'm just each turn this is in your hand. Then why not? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. Upgrades each turn this is in your hand. But why not say each turn transform it into a random mage spell? It is very nitpicky. But when you say upgrades each turn and then you have cards like Gruul and Micro Machine that says, hey, each turn I'm going to do this effect, you kind of think, oh, that means it happens every turn, right? Because we have Gruul, we have Micro Machine, we have Kel'Thuzad who activates each turn. And the cards that does have turn-based activation in your hand, like Gilnean Rogue Guard and Shifting Scroll, says each turn this is in your hand. I don't know. It's pretty nitpicky. I'll give Blizzard a pass for that one.
Such as this one.
These aren't capped, by the way.
Longer you hold them in your hand.
You can get this up to
What
20
do
if you
call a
want.
card
30 if
capable
you
of
want.
Doing colossal damage to every minion on the board. Evil! It's an evil card!
So every turn it gains +1/+1/+1 without cap. To keep this balance, this mechanic, I don't imagine them having something as simple as deal 1 damage to a target. Because if you draw that kind of card on turn 1, you just stall the game out and then here you go, bam. 20 damage to the face. It'll be interesting to see what other schemes there are.
Take a look at this miscreant, seen frequenting the company of rogues. He is capable of adding 2 such lackeys to your hand. You might be asking, what are lackeys? How many are there? How do they do against aggro? All lackeys are small.
Lackeys are uncollectible, so they're like dream cards or Lich King cards. You only get them through special sources. So we got Kobo Lackey, 1 mana, 1/1, deal 2 damage, which is pretty good. 1 mana, 1/1, summon a random 2-cost minion, which is also really good. These are powerful units.
1/1 minions with a distinct
Kobo Lackey, +1 attack and rush.
evil battle
Transform a friendly minion into one that costs one more. It's one-off unstable evolution.
use them and
Discover a spell.
dispose of them at
All
will.
very, very
That's
good
what lackeys
units.
are for. Throughout the year, more lackeys will be added with each set, representing the growing reach
Throughout
of
the
league
year,
of-
more lackeys will be added to each set. They did say they want to make the Year of the Dragon an overarching story. So these 5 villains, I think, is going to be around for the entire year. Like, it's going to follow a storyline. The first storyline sounds like they're invading Dalaran. Maybe the second storyline, they're trying to escape or break something out. Or maybe it's the hero storyline. And then this third storyline, I don't know, epic clash between the two.
Of course, the magical defenders of Dalaran won't sit idly by while evil stalks their street. Our villains will run into a formidable defense befitting the capital of magic, including a new mechanic. This druid spell will summon treants, but it's what's known as a twin spell, meaning it can be cast twice. Once cast, a second copy of the spell is added to your hand to be cast immediately or saved for a future turn. The very streets of Dalaran will descend into chaos. Everyone will be drafted into the fight.
Twin spells. Cards that you can cast twice. Okay, twin spell would be really good in Mage. Especially when you consider Sorcerer's Apprentice. No more Quest Mage, unfortunately. But the theory that people have is that the good guys get the twin spell mechanic and the bad guys get the scheme mechanics. This is really expensive. 8 mana to summon 5 to treant. At 8 mana, that means with your remaining mana, you can cast Power of the Wild, but you can't cast Soul of the Forest. It's a better Echo. I mean, the thing this has in common with the Echo is you get a copy of the card back. A little expensive.
The very streets of Dalaran will descend into chaos. Everyone will be drafted into the fight, including the city's merchants, such as this jeweler who can buy
3 mana, 3 for a battle cry. Your hero can't be targeted by spells or hero power until your next turn. The style line is good. The effect is, you can't pyroblast me. But how often do you get targeted by your opponent with a spell? It's when they want to kill you with a pyroblast or with a fireball or a frostbolt, right? Your opponent can still hit you in the face with their zoo deck. So decent stat, neat effect, completely inapplicable, this effect, unless the number 1, number 2, number 3 decks in the meta are decks that throws balls at your face. No one's gonna play this. Toast anti-combo counter. You can't counter a Kalecgos Velen Mind Blast. You can counter the Smite, but you're gonna run this on the off chance you run into Kalecgos Smite, dude. And it only lasts for 1 turn. The priest is like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for 1 turn here. It's trash. It's actual garbage. Not bad for arena though, stat-wise.
Pity the fool who believes they have lethal when she comes into play. When faced with such terrible evil, even the best among us must resort to extreme. Chef Nomi is an Epicurean of pyrotechnical proclivities. End your game with a bang, for revenge is a dish best served hot. This card is on fire.
Oh man, it's funny if you know the story of Chef Nomi. So a bit of lore. Chef Nomi is a character in World of Warcraft who teaches the players how to cook, and he's famous for being a terrible cook. And he was always burning things. It's a great reference. It's hilarious, but it's garbage. You need your deck to be empty, and that's a really hard thing to do. Because if you're playing a deck that's based around emptying all your cards, you're much better off running finishers like Mekathun or Hakar, right? Tell us what about Myra. So you're playing Rogue. On turn 6, you Myra, Unstable Element. On turn 7, you summon a board of 6/6. How good is it in Odd Warrior? True, Odd Warrior, or Control Warrior in general. They lost Diamondhorn Hatchling. They also lost, at least they lost Dead Man's Hand, so their fatigue potential is weak, but I don't know. Very little decks plan to go to fatigue. And the decks that do plan to go to fatigue has a plan for when they hit fatigue. This isn't a plan. Also, Odd Warrior can't be a thing. Baku's out. Like, Chef Nomi isn't a plan. It's like a Dragon Call Alana. If you play it against one board wipe, you lose the game. So yeah, I don't think anyone will ever play this. If you draw it at any point, it's just a dead draw.
And one-time aspect of magic itself, Kalecgos.
Now we're
Very
talking.
embodiment of arcane.
Now this is a good legendary. 10 mana, 4/12. Your first spell each turn costs 0. Battle Cry, discover a spell. This is the good stuff. It's a little expensive. I don't know if it's like meta. It's not going to be meta defining because 10 mana is huge, and aggressive mages are more popular than control mages, at least in the last year. It's really expensive. But the effect is great, and it has self synergy, right? Even if you don't have any spells in your hand, you could drop this and try and roll for a Blizzard, a Flame Strike. Reminds me a lot of Ink Master Solia, except this one doesn't have deck restriction, a little more expensive, but gives you a card and has a constant effect. So it's not just like free spell, cast it for free, 4/12. It's free spell, cast it for free, 4/12. And also, if your opponent doesn't kill it, free spell every single turn. So I love it. I think it's a great card. In terms of coolness and unique effect and self synergy, I think it's great. It's also a dragon, which right now doesn't really mean anything besides Dragon Roar for Warrior. But I think it's great. I love it. Playability at 10 mana. Tell us, what's the lore? Okay, so for those who don't know, Kalecgos used to be the aspect of magic. Alexstrasza is the aspect of life. Ysera is the aspect, I don't know, of nature and hippie shit. But eventually Kalecgos went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and started wanting to kill all the magic users. And he was killed, and he got replaced by Kalecgos, which is another blue dragon. He's banging Jaina. Fun fact. They're doing the horizontal shuffle. Because what if he barns into this? I mean, if he barns into this, oh my god. Oh wait, thank god. Priest can't use this in Big Priest. Yeah, if you barns into this, assuming you play WoW like a degenerate, yeah, you can cast a spell. Turn 4, Pyroblast. Turn 3, if you coin out Barnes, hit Kalecgos, and Pyroblast them. Maybe there's a deck you can build around that in Wild. Kalecgos, Barnes. Coin out Barnes on turn 3, Pyroblast them in the face. Oh, wait, you can't coin it, right? Because you would have... It counts the coin as your first spell. You're right. You have to play on force then. Super balanced. Tell us, how does a dragon have sex with a human? A dragon can turn into human form.
His battle cry will give you one. No doubt, the defenders of Dalaran are going to put up quite the fight. But will it be enough to save their city from the League of Evil? This is but the first chapter of a trilogy, a tale of...
The first chapter of a trilogy. So they're really committing to this year-long story. It's not just going to end. Like, all the expansions in the past, they're standalone stories, right? Standalone events. But Blizzard is trying this thing where they tell a story over the course of 3 expansions. I'm guessing villains in this one, maybe heroes in the next one. Introduce 4 heroes to combat 5 villains. Because the 5 villains should each represent a class, right? Let me find a press release for this. Tell us, they're kind of copying Magic the Gathering block. Oh yeah, Magic does something similar, right? Because they had Ravnica, and then they have Ravnica Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. And then they're going to have Ravnica Part 3. I don't play too much Magic, but I know they have an overarching storyline as well. Every henchman needs a lackey. The League of Evil needs all the help they can get. Lackey provides. Heist Baron Togwaggle. Ooh, so we know the name of Togwaggle then. Is a rogue minion evil miscreant. So Togwaggle is going to be a rogue legendary, and it's going to be called High Sparran Togwaggle. 5 Lackeys and Rise of Shadow, we've seen them all. Schemes, Hagatha schemes, callback cards, Forbidden Word, Forbidden Shaping, yeah. Twice the Trickery. High Sparran Togwaggle. Cool. Nice name. Launches April 9th. During the first week of the expansion, the Shadow Bundle will be available, containing 9 Rise of Shadows pack and an arena ticket for $10. So you're paying $1 per pack, which is slightly below the usual cost. So there's a bundle there. And then there's a 50 pack bundle that includes a card back and a legendary card. And then the 80 pack bundle, which includes, it includes 80 packs, but also a golden legendary and the priest hero Madame Lazul. Why don't you just come rob my house, Blizzard, with all this? So like I mentioned, when it comes to dollar efficiency, it's always better to buy the bundles. I'm not saying pre-order. I feel like every time the community gets angry at Blizzard, it's like, God, this expansion sucks, Blizzard sucks, everything about them sucks, they're greedy, Activision, shilling. And then they release a new Hearthstone expansion. It's like, pre-order everything. I need that legendary card back. I need that new hero. I need that golden legendary. Take my money. They're probably two very different crowds. But yeah, pack efficiency in terms of your biggest bang for your buck. You do want to pre-order the bundles because you're paying $1 per pack. So if you plan to spend money, I would pre-order. What's the other press release? It's Good to Be Bad in Rise of Shadows, coming to Hearthstone April 9th. Pre-purchase 135 new cards. These low-level operative will be crucial in unleashing the League's sinister schemes, which are cards that grow in power each turn. These Defenders of Dalaran. Oh, this is good. Players looking to join the League of Evil should watch their back, as they'll be targeted by a mysterious crime-fighting group known as the Defenders of Dalaran. Okay, so Defenders of Dalaran. Most likely gonna be the focus on the hero expansion. The Defenders of Dalaran, I would imagine, would be a druid, the mage, the hunter, the druid, mage, hunter, and paladin. Druid, mage, hunter, paladin. Mage could be Khadgar, because he is the leader of the Kirin Tor, which is the ruling organization on Dalaran. The paladin, Liadrin, but Liadrin's also already a hero, but they're kind of breaking that rule. Wait, the mage is Kalecgos. Defenders of Dalaran. Oh, right, the mage is Kalecgos. The paladin, the hunter. I don't know who the hunter can be. A lot of hunters on Dalaran. The hunter could be Varisa Windrunner, who is the wife of Ronin. But who could the paladin be? Vindicator Boros? This is a lot of lore stuff. Mysterious crime fighting group. I mean, superheroes are all the rage. Especially today, the official trailer for Avengers Endgame just dropped. So, smart of Blizzard to hop on the superhero train. So all the good guys will use twin spells. All the bad guys will use schemes. Turalian, that's a possibility. Tells what does evil stand for? Every villain is lemons. Dr. Boom should still be the warrior class. I don't imagine them changing it. And it also makes sense because Zeo Shadowcloak, the legendary that's like Whizbang coming up in the new expansion, that gives you 5 pre-made decks. It makes sense it gives you 5. It'll give you a deck with Hagatha. It'll give you a deck with High Sparran Togwaggle. It's going to be a rogue deck. It'll give you a deck with Blastmaster Boom, Archvillain Rafaam, and Madame Lazul. How many booms do we have now? Yeah, we have 3 boom cards, 2 Hagatha cards, 2 Rafaam cards, and 2 Togwaggle cards. $80. Start saving up your gold and your monies.
Hey, lights out.